morning, welcome back to the channel. Really lovely to have you back with us. If you are new to the channel, then please don't forget to click on that subscribe link below. Make sure you ring that bell, then you'll be notified of any of the latest films that we post online. Also, please don't forget, do follow us on our Instagram. We've got some great images up there from walking gun photography, as well as pictures of what we do throughout the season. So today, guys, what we're going to do is we've got the joys of a bit of gun dog training today. So you know, throughout the channel, what we've been trying to do is look at everything to do with shooting, whether that be the types of vehicles that you guys buy, you guys look at and you drive, through to gun reviews, through to cartridges, through to clothing and equipment. So one of the most important things that we want to review is, of course, our furry friends and how we keep these guys on tip-top condition throughout the season and also in the off-season. We've been really fortunate today to be able to have Natalie come and join us from Craiwarn Gundogs, where she's going to show us how she keeps her dogs in tip-top condition and show us how dogs should behave in the field. Hope you enjoy. Look forward to speaking to you in a little while.
Right, so we have got a team of 4 dogs here. We've got Tink, Flo, Belle and Doris. Just talking about a bit of general obedience. So they're just there on the sit stay. I'm walking through them, keeping them with me, all foundation stuff. I tend to draw a lot back to my foundation training, and I think it's always good. These guys work as a team, so they should listen to me as a team, and it's not always about one individual dog. So as you can see, I'm just walking myself about, just moving myself about, and I call individual dogs in by name. As you see, the rest of the team sit steady whilst I'm calling in the dogs by name. I just lift my hand if I want them to stop out in front of me. As you see there, Flo just runs towards me, I lift my hand, she stops. The rest of the team sits steady. I keep myself moving about, and I'm a bit unpredictable to them. But again, it's just a good thing to do, to just keep making sure your general obedience is up and the rest of the guys can keep their patience and sit steady. They're making a nice job of this. I'm very happy with how they're looking and what they're doing. I then call Doris is next in. She was a bit slow away, but she answered her name very nicely and she sits up in front of me. I start to obviously in the off season we use dummies, canvas. I throw them around. The dogs should sit steady whilst I'm doing that. As you see, they all mark it. I just correct Doris there by asking her to sit. I can then recall a dog off of that dummy. And we call Flo in and we sit Flo up in front of us. I call the whole team in. There's Belle. The dummy's still down, but they're quite happy to pull off of that distraction and recall into me. Then we have Doris. I walk past the team and I go and pick up that dummy. I know these guys retrieve. We've got Doris is a field trial winner and Tink is a field trial champion. Flo's got a few working test awards. Belle's just part of the picking up team. I say just part of the picking up team. She's a fundamental part of my picking up team. I call Tink towards me, throw a dummy over her head, she stays steady and honours it. The rest of the team sit and watch, and I should be able to quite happily send the dog back past the rest of the team to pick that dummy up and retrieve it, which she does well. I'm never in a rush to take anything off of the dog, giving her plenty of time, little stroke, letting her know that she's done the right thing and that I'm happy with that. I then place a dummy just in front of everybody else, just to the back of them, so that they can run past. I can have a dog run past the rest of the team. Again, just general steadiness, just general obedience training, making sure that they can come past the rest and they all stop still. I throw a dummy out, past the rest of the guys, send Tink. Tink flies out. Flo does stand up, but I can just lift my hand, she sits down. Tink goes and picks it up, brings it back. I just take my time, give her a little tickle under the chest for a nice delivery. Obviously during the off season, or as we're now in lockdown, these guys have done plenty of days picking up. So for them, going back to a bit of canvas and a bit of general obedience, this time of year is a pleasure actually, to be able to spend the time with them and getting them back on point for when we're allowed out again. As you see, dummy goes out, rest of the team sit quiet and steady. I go to Flo, I set Flo up and I push her back. She takes a nice line out to the dummy, full of enthusiasm, and comes back. The other 3 guys are sat nice and steady. Flo sits up, a nice presentation. Again, I'm never in a hurry to take it off of her. Just give her a little tickle under her chest. Let her know that she's done the right thing and I'm very happy with her. And I take the retrieve. Just wait for her to settle and to sit steady. Just making sure everybody's on side and that they're listening and they're nice and relaxed. Here we've got Alice. Alice is 15 months old. She will hopefully be my next novice. She's by field trial champion Kilton Beck Rolo, out of field trial champion Country Ways Alice of Craiwarn. We've got some rape out in front of me, and we're just going to have a hunt through the rape, just a bit of quartering pattern. The little dog will run a nice pattern. She'll turn on the whistle. We'll put a ball out maybe for her to find as well while she's hunting. Just keeping general fitness up. I want her to stay with me, always using the wind. As you see, the wind is coming towards me, so we've got a nice strong headwind. So we'll just hunt Alice on a nice quartering pattern. As you see there, she quarters in front of me on that nice zigzag. I use a turn whistle for her to turn across in front of me. She gets herself nicely under that rake there. Perfect cover for a spaniel. She's using the wind nicely, but most of all she's controlled. We work as a team. She stops with me nice and relaxed. You see there, we just drop a ball in for her. She hits into that ball and again finds the ball. Very enthusiastic, the way she jumps in at me. But I don't mind that at this stage. We'll tidy her up later on. As long as she's having fun, she's learned it all through play. That's all that matters. Okay, we've got the light launcher here. Great for the picking up team. We're going to fire a few bangs off the launcher. Brilliant for steadiness. You'll see that we'll send dogs by individual names. We've got some distraction dummies out as well. But we should be able to, I'm lucky enough to have a remote launcher, so I can just press the button on the launcher and we'll have dummies go out into the rape. So it's good for marking, good for steadiness, good for working as a team. Each dog having to listen to see when it's their turn to get the retrieve. As you can see there, they're sat and they're waiting. And there was a pop off the launcher. As you see, they all turned and marked it. Nicely down, and we send Tink into the rape. Tink runs out on a nice line, marks it well, hunts for the fall, picks it up and brings it back. I've just got a blind out and I send Flo for the blind. Flo runs a nice line, straight to the fall of the dummy, and she brings it back. It takes time to teach dogs to work as a team. Obviously, these guys have got a bit of age to them. They're used to working as a team. A lot of time's gone in. One goes off the launcher. I send Doris by her name. Doris runs back into the rape. Don't need to handle her. She hits the fall. She works the wind. As you see there, picks the dummy. Oh, comes out. Very enthusiastic delivery. Never in a rush to keep them too, always a lot on a shoot day. We do a lot of hanging around. So with the guys being sat around, it's always a good thing. I just push Tink from out in front of me. She's obviously watched the other dogs go to that area now. but takes a nice line, picks the dummy. We then fire off the launcher again, mark out into the rape. And we're going to pull Doris off the mark, out to the blind, which she takes a lovely direction, picks, brings it back to hand. Right, so we've got a couple of dummies down in the rape. So if we was at the end of a drive, we'd go sweeping now. So I click the dogs off to go and hunt, staying in control, but they hunt the falls of where we've been. So we're sweeping up, just letting them take their time. I'm not in a rush, but they're hunting a nice pattern out, sweeping up. And we're going to see if we can find a couple of dummies just out in that rape. There you go. You can see them getting their nose down. They're with me. Flo the Labrador, you see there, she hooks in on the wind, finds a dummy, brings it back to hand nicely, and then we ask them to hunt on. If we were in the field, we'd do this, like I said, at the end of a drive, looking for anything that's been missed. If there's an injured bird, we just sweep up to make sure that all the game is picked and is added to the game cart. Flo finds another dummy and brings it back. Again, whilst we're doing this, we're just letting the dogs know they've made the right choice. They've hunted with me, I'm really happy with them. We've got the other guys, they're still out at the side, sitting there steady, watching what's going on, taking their time. I'm just going to walk these guys back to the others, under control. Although the Cocker Spaniel thinks she'll get there a little, and the Labrador think they'll get there a little bit before me, but I just correct them. Nothing drastic, just have them back. And we go and join the others. We put them back with the pack, ready to go again. And as you see, there's Tink and Doris, nice and relaxed, watched everything that's gone on, taking it all in, and they're super steady. Here we've got the beautiful Flo. She's a good girl. We're going to talk about our directional work, our lefts, our rights and our backs. Obviously, again, Flo is an older dog. She knows the score, but we all have to start somewhere, and I'm going to break it down to you of how I would teach it, how I would teach my left, rights and backs. Obviously, if we can keep it as straightforward and as simple as possible, setting the dogs up to succeed is our main aim. We don't want them ever to fail. As you see, Flo's very into me, wants to know what's coming next, even if it is a game of picking up dummies and not game. What I'm going to do is use a nice light dummy so she gets a nice visual on it. Just helps with drawing them out to the area, gives them confidence, keeps them confident. As you see, the rest of the team are going to watch what Flo's doing, so it's giving them some steadiness and knowing that everything's not always about them. As you see, I use a bit of white tape on a dummy. It just helps as a visual for when you're teaching a young dog. It just gives them a visual to draw to. So I literally just throw that dummy out to my left. As you see, Flo marks it, she looks to it. I pop a little touch on my whistle and pop my left hand out, and I push her out of my left hand on an away command. She takes the command, picks the dummy and brings it back. Again, we're never in a rush, nice and relaxed, and then we just walk her back at heel and pop her back on the spot. The ground's lovely to be able to teach this, something nice and mown, so she gets a nice good visual, goes out to the right, I lift my hand, push her out on an away command. She picks a dummy, brings it back, very enthusiastic, take my time, give her a stroke, take it off of her, and we pop her back. Once we've been doing this for a while, repetitively, we can then put 2 dummies out together. Never in a rush to put 2 out together with a young dog. But of course, she's going to remember the easiest retrieve is the one on my right. So I'm going to send her left-handed to make sure she's listening to me. She takes the command well, again full of enthusiasm. And I just pop her back. Then we sit her up. And we'll chuck the dummy back out to my left. So obviously in Flo's mind, that's the easiest retrieve. She knows that's there. But if I've done my homework and I've trained her right, I should be able to send her out off of my right hand, which she takes it lovely, picks the dummy and brings it back. We don't send her for every dummy that hits the floor. It's always good to go and pick a few up yourself so they don't anticipate where they're going next. I always show the dog the retrieve so that they know that I've taken it, and we have to work as a team. We call Flo to us and we're going to start pushing Flo backwards. So again, just throwing a dummy out, she marks it, but I leave her on the spot. And rather than sending her from my side or out from in front of me, left or right, I'm now going to push her backwards. So if we were out in the field and I needed her to go further back, I should be able to push her back. She should run a line, which is what she does. Picks a dummy, brings it back. Again, just taking my time, letting her know that she's done well, always telling her that I'm happy with what she's just done. I'm never in a rush to take anything out of their mouths. Also, we teach them to run a line. So if we've done our homework right, we build trust with our dogs. I should be able to send Flo up a line and she should take the command because she should believe in what I'm asking her to do. She believes wherever I send her, she's going to find. But sometimes we just run them up the line just to make sure that they're listening to us, just to make sure that they're on point, and just so that we can do a bit of direction. So what I'll do is I'm going to send her up the line. There's nothing out there. I hit my stop whistle. Flo stops, and I'm just going to give her a reward for stopping. But rather than being out behind her or out to the side of her, I'm just going to pop something in between me and her. Again, it's just keeping them just guessing a little bit so we're not predictable in our training. She sits steady to the full. I'm just then going to recall her in and ask her to pick that up for me on the way in. Little drop of the hand. There we go. She comes in, she picks, and gives me a nice presentation of delivery. Nice soft hands, giving her a little fuss, and I take it off of her nicely. Here's the rest of the team, still sitting steady, watching what Flo's been doing. Thanks ever so much, guys. I hope it's been of some information for you. Enjoy your dogs, and let's hope we can enjoy the rest of the season.